On this episode of the Real Life Caddie podcast, Zabbo and I are joined by local caddie John Jackson. John's a local resort caddie, however, he recently played a major part in the sensational story that captured the world of golf. He caddied for Michael Block at the PGA Championship. Brooks Koepka won the tournament, but Block was the biggest talking point of the championship, and John was right in the thick of the action. He tells us how he met Block, how the week unfolded, what it's like being paired with Rory McIlroy, the hole-in-one in the final round, and of course, what the future holds for the Block party. It's a great story, and I know you'll thoroughly enjoy it. If you've any questions or feedback, please email us, podcast@glorifieddonkey.com, or contact us on social media. If you haven't already, please also check out the Real Life Caddie podcast sponsor, Big Game Golf. Big Game Golf's a fantastic golf app that offers golfers games, scoring, networking, and much, much more. Download the app today and make sure to enter the code GDonkey1 or GDonkey2. Support us by supporting them. Many thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. This is episode 114 of the Real Life Caddie podcast. It's sponsored by whom, Michael?
Big Game Golf.
Big Game Golf. Go and download the app now. Zabbo, you're back from Disneyland.
Yeah, we went over this in the last podcast we just put out, but yes, I'm back.
You're getting withdrawal?
Podcast. I'm not getting withdrawal. I'm happy to be home and hopefully not going for another couple months at least.
A few weeks ago, there was a major. It was the PGA Championship. Brooks Koepka won it. There was a guy called Michael Block. He is a pro, a club pro?
He's a PGA professional, yes.
The big star of the show, we actually have him on.
We do. I mean, I'm very excited about this podcast. We have the caddy himself who caddied for Michael Block, John Jackson. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be with you guys.
You know, I heard that he was caddying for somebody in the PGA Championship in about, I don't know, it was probably a week before the time. I saw him in the parking lot just in passing. I'm like, hey,
right.
Heard you're caddying in the PGA Championship next week. I said, who you got? He's like, I got this guy, Michael Block, and we chit-chatted for 5 minutes. And at the end, he said, yeah, I like his chances to at least make the cut, maybe compete. And I was like, everybody says that when you're caddying for somebody. I'm like, all right, Johnny, good luck, man. And wow, what a week.
Am I right in saying that you turned down Rogan, you turned down the Golf Channel just for us? Is that right?
Yeah. Hundreds of offers.
You were waiting to come on the Real Life Caddie podcast?
Yeah. Zabbo, in all fairness, I did have a flight book for Saturday morning. So
you were prepared to go home, yeah. I mean, I get it.
So, John, welcome to the podcast. Tell us, have you had a lot of people contact you about being in their show or talking to you? Or
I did the Bob Minery. That was interesting.
Okay.
And then just some interviews here and there, phone interviews, stuff like that. Not really any podcasts, though.
So tell us about yourself. You caddy with us at the resort.
I do.
How long have you been doing that?
Full time since 2017.
Aye.
From San Diego originally. Came up here to play college golf at Cal State Monterey Bay.
Yeah.
Played a little for about 5 years after school. And then when I lost the love for it, came to the resort to caddy full time.
Well, you tell me you don't like golf?
At the competitive level,
you just got burnt out.
The traveling, the 50, 60, 70 flights a year. I was playing overseas, doing long hauls. Body started to fall apart. Got burnt to be a lot.
Yeah. What's your best score ever?
59. I have a 58 and two 59s.
You have a 58?
Well, I was at Monterey Pines.
Oh, okay.
But Tipton loves the fact
counts.
that he came in at 8 under and I came in at 11.
Wow.
Yeah, loves it.
Okay, you ever had a hole-in-one?
No.
Wow, really?
Oh.
I've played 20,000 par threes and never had a one.
That makes three of us then.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I've got two.
He's got two.
You ever have any in a par 3 course?
Like the old Peter Hay, I had a couple, but that doesn't count.
Thank you.
Dude,
all right, maybe I regret having John Jackson on the show.
He did 42 or something.
48.
48 yards.
48, both of them.
Claiming that. Shocking, isn't it?
They went in.
And I've never asked you this. Were you when you play your wee 9-hole dog track there, do you play one ball?
I do, yeah.
Typically.
If I play by myself, I usually play a couple, but both hole-in-ones were with people.
Oh, hole-in-ones. Yeah. So okay, so you haven't had a hole-in-one either. Have you had been close?
Oh, in every which way.
Yeah.
First time I played Pebble, I horseshoed it, landed behind the hole, horseshoed it. Almost made one on 16 at Cypress. Had some close calls.
Aye. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever worn white pants?
No.
Okay.
Never?
What do you think about white pants in men?
Maybe I have way back.
White belt? White belt. You had to wear white.
Yeah, I've worn a white belt.
You don't have any currently, though.
I don't know. Yeah. Probably somewhere.
Wow.
So obviously you worked the PGA Championship. Take us back. How do you know Michael Block?
We used to compete against each other a little bit. I knew of him. He came up and played the TaylorMade National Championship, which I have every year on the resort. I picked him up at Spyglass for the practice round. We got along, kind of reconnected with a lot of, talking about mutual friends and all that. And we ended up losing that by a shot. And then, my brother is a assistant pro at Southern Hills.
Is he?
In Tulsa, yeah.
Oh.
And
where the PGA was last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, hey, if you need anything in Tulsa, let me know. I can get you in touch with my brother. And a week later, he gives me a call and he says, I need you to come out and do at least the practice rounds. His son was playing the USGA 4-ball in Georgia.
Okay.
And I guess I was like a backup plan, I guess, or something. His son ends up working the tournament. He missed the cut. And then this year he called me and was just like, let's do the whole week this year.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I'll book a flight right now.
That's awesome. See, that always gets me too, because that happens a lot out here. And it's happened to a couple of guys that I know so far for the Women's Open. They hire a local caddy for practice rounds, and then they say, you know what, I'm going to take somebody else for the tournament. Just have the caddy for the whole week.
Will Holcomb, you ever hear of him? Wee Willie, he is on the Corn Ferry Tour now. He's from Crockett, Texas. Somebody I carry for, he used to carry for out in Texas. And he qualified for the US Amateur 2018. And I helped him in the kind of practice rounds. But I'd said to him at the time, I says, I think it's a big mistake not to use me for the tournament. And then he called me the Saturday.
He had a pretty good run, too.
He was good, but he had a really good run at Pinehurst. He got to the semis at the Pinehurst the year after, and he took a local guy. It was a guy from Liverpool.
There you go.
And but he called me the weekend of it, and then he also called me when he got to the semis. He said, I should have stuck with you.
Well, there's a lot of work that goes into the practice rounds. There's a lot discussed there. So to just have somebody fall in under the gun, that's makes it a little tough.
That's what I'm saying. To have his son after competing in the 4-ball come in, that had to be a detriment to his week. Obviously, it was. He missed the cut.
Interesting. So when did he call you, comparative to the tournament?
It was right after he qualified at the PNC.
Okay, so
which is a month before the tournament. Yeah, it's pretty bang for them.
So were you just over the moon buzzing?
I was, whenever you get invited to work a major, sounds like fun. Yeah. I went out with the, anticipation, even if I broke even, financially, whatever.
Good experience.
Yeah, I get to walk inside the ropes. It'll be fun to watch on Sunday from my couch, knowing exactly what these guys are playing.
Did you book a flight for the Saturday? Or
I had a flight booked on Saturday.
Yeah. It did Block as well?
Oh, yeah.
You both had the same plan.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. So how was the practice rounds? What was the course condition? It looked tough?
Oh, it was great. It was very tough. The best part was they didn't let nobody had played the golf course since the previous October. So once the snow melted and everything, they didn't let they have 2 courses there. They didn't let any of the members on the PGA Championship course. So it was phenomenal. The condition looked like nobody had ever played it. It suited his eye well. The fairways were rolling out. He doesn't hit it very far, but he hits it really straight. So he can fly at 270 and roll it out to 310 and be right around, same position.
So was your confidence level after the practice rounds? Were you like, this guy is legit and could actually compete out here?
Yeah, I knew by a lot of the things he was saying, and he could tell he was pretty comfortable. It also had been remodeled 3 years ago, I believe, and a lot of the bunkers that they put in are geared more towards the modern game, where guys are flying at 320. Yeah. So they're honestly just out of our reach off a lot of tee boxes, whereas a normal
you can kind of hit driver at them and stay short.
100%, and some of these other guys were having to negotiate them. So that definitely played into our hands. And then, like I said, he hit a lot of fairways. And in any major championship, no matter how far you hit it, you have to play out of the fairway.
Yeah, 100%. And is this your first, like, have you caddied on the PGA Tour or in a major at all before? Any PGA Tour events?
No, not. I mean, besides like AT&Ts and stuff like that for amateurs, but not really. And the practice rounds, I guess, at Southern Hills, but that's about it.
So when you're teeing it up first round, did you have a lot of nerves yourself standing on that tee?
Honestly, not really.
Really?
I kind of we were paired with two awesome guys, Taylor Pendrith and Hayden Buckley. I had met both of their caddies before. They were really cool guys. It was honestly just three boys out for a round of golf. Like, that's kind of what it felt like.
Wow.
There's also no one knew who we were at the time. So
yeah.
To start, it's whatever. Let's go out and have a good time, see what happens.
So that's going to be my biggest question for John is the progression of the week, because nobody really talks about it, because after the fact, everybody's like, whoa, what an amazing story. But the progression of this story is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday, nobody's really knowing who Michael Block is and caring, really. I mean, nobody cares. What's that progression like? Nobody's talking to Michael Block in any pressers. Nobody's talking to John Jackson. Like, how does that feel after going out? And what happened after round one? Like, what happened after the round? Was there a lot of buzz then?
No, not really. There was another couple PGA guys that had put up, I don't know exactly what they shot, but they shot decent numbers.
What did he shoot the first day? Was he even or?
He shot 70, 70, 70, 71.
Yeah. So he was.
Yeah. But it was after the second round, making the cut and realizing we're like tied for 12th. And in the second round, at one point, we were in second, one off the lead. That's when I think it finally clicked that, like, wow, this is going to get a little crazy. He had also said going into the week, he had one big professional goal left, was to be the low PGA professional standing on the green with the PGA Championship champion. And once we made the cut, he was the only PGA professional left. So he had accomplished basically one of his final goals in professional golf. And in a way, I think that also kind of helped free him up a bit.
How many tournaments or how many majors has he played in?
I think that was his 8th.
Wow.
Yeah. He's made one other cut, I believe, and he's played in probably around 30 PGA Tour events.
You're a caddy. Caddies have degenerate habits. One of them
it's in our nature.
Yeah, one of them being maybe having a little money on it. Do you do any fantasy golf or?
I don't. I
don't
don't have a bookie. I really don't gamble very much at all.
Okay.
Unless it's on myself. If we want to go out and play, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But,
interesting, because I picked Brooks Koepka at the beginning, but
did you?
Did you have any fancy of anyone that you?
No, not really.
No. Do you have any favorite golfer?
Not really. No, I really don't even watch a whole lot of golf unless it's Sunday of like a major championship or Sunday of a tournament when something's coming down to the wire.
So you're like 80% of golf fans out there, basically.
Right. Yeah. You know, I root for the Southern California, San Diego boys like Xander, and yeah. Other than that, I'm just a basic golf fan.
So after round two, you get done. The buzz. I know you say like he's even par, or he's
even par. I think we were tied 12.
Yeah, so he's almost top 10.
Yeah,
crowd, everybody's buzzing. What was the media? Were they just swarming him right away?
I walked to scoring with him, and there was like 15, 20 and reporters waiting for me to get my side of the story.
Wow!
And they all had their phones in my face with the recorder and.
And did you give them much, or did you just walk away and say no comment?
No, I just answered. I sat there and answered their questions. Yeah. But,
And he was probably there for an hour at least, right? Talking
probably more than that. Yeah, he was definitely getting pulled around at that point to different outlets.
Do you know who Brando Chambly is?
Yeah.
So was it him that said he doesn't think that
the PGA Pro should be in the field? Yeah.
Was it him? Yeah,
I'm sure it was.
Or really?
Sounds like
I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah,
one of them on the Golf Channel.
Lynch, yeah,
it was one of them said that. What do you think about that? It's nonsense, isn't it?
I think it's a little ridiculous.
How many guys like him qualified then?
There's 20 every year.
So it's 20 every year. Okay.
Yeah, they go through 3 stages of qualifying. The final stage is the Professional National Championship, the PNC. There's 315 guys or whatever it is, 312 guys for 20 spots. Wow. So
see, when you were playing yourself, did you ever get close to getting to a major tournament like that?
No.
Well, you couldn't. You were never a Class A professional, correct? So you couldn't play in the PNC. You couldn't play in the national championship. Yeah.
Did you ever try and qualify for the U.S. Open or British Open?
I tried the U.S. Open a few times. Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure a couple of the caddies have missed out by a ball here.
Yeah, a couple of caddies qualified for sectionals this year. They didn't do too well, but yeah. So round 3, you get paired. Are you guys looking at the pairings? Like, obviously, you're paired with the same guys the first 2 days. So are you just waiting for that pairing to come out and see? Because you got to know about who you're going to play with looking at the scores. Or were you guys buzzing over that? Like looking, I'm going to play with, potentially this guy or that guy?
Both times, I believe Saturday and Sunday, he was in a press conference when the pairings came out. And I think the press broke it to him both times. And so I'm not even with him. And then I get we get a text from the tournament director that says your tee time, and it's the first one Saturday says Justin Rose. I'm like, okay, this should be interesting.
Wow.
Who was a really nice guy. He was phenomenal, actually. I heard he's not so nice to a lot of his caddies, but to us, he was awesome.
Does he still have Josh Castle caddying? Was it Josh that was caddying for him?
I believe so, yeah.
What day was it? Was the 5th a par 3? What was the first par 3 in the front 9?
Yeah. That's the second.
Okay, so
it's 3 and 5 on the front.
Right. So on the 5th, he shanked it out of bounds and what was going through your mind there?
What happened?
I was like, here we go. This is
the implosion that happens with all the club pros. Yeah.
He actually made a horrible bogey on the previous hole on the par 5 from like 85 yards, missed the green, made bogey. Then shanks it, hits a tree that's on the other side of the fence,
Correct.
Comes back into play.
Wow.
It's in like 10-inch rough. Can't even get that one to the green. Short-sighted. Actually made a pretty good 5, to be quite honest. And then the next hole was, I believe it stood up as the hardest hole in PGA Championship history, number 6. And he hit 400 to 12 feet, and almost made birdie, but even just to level it out and hit 2 really good shots, I knew we still had a chance there.
Do you think if that ball had gone out of play, had not bounced back in, we'd be having a totally different conversation?
I mean, he could have still made 5, essentially, but
it's kind of like the confidence, though. Golf's so much about momentum, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And kicking yourself and whatever, but...
I'll tell you this much: bogey on 6, there's no way we're even having this conversation. Yeah. Then it starts to snowball, and
it quickly falls.
What did you say anything to him after he hit that shank? Like, well, buddy, let's move on, or what was your reaction to it towards him?
I was pretty much just head down the whole week. I would just march on, get to the next shot. He does a little bit of venting on his own, and then he kind of comes back to earth. He's good at kind of the. What's the old 10-second rule? You get your 10 seconds, so you just kind of
clear it out.
Yeah, let it do what you got to do, and then he's right back into it.
And what was your extent of caddying? Like, what was he looking for you? Was he a big numbers guy? I want to know what is playing, what you think I should hit, read my putts.
Everything tee to green was very much just. I was involved in every aspect of it.
So would he walk things off, get his numbers, or was that all you?
Yeah, we would do both. I did a majority of it, but yeah, he would do both. We also had the benefit of using lasers in the PGA.
Oh yeah. Did you lean on that pretty heavily?
I'd usually hand him the laser. I would do my numbers through the book, a lot of pacing off. Mm-hmm. We would kind of double check, and then he's standing there shooting the flag, but through the book, I know it's 6 less to cover this bunker, or you have 8 behind it, or stuff like that. So I would just reiterate a lot of that stuff to him.
Gotcha.
And then once he was on the green, he pretty much did his own thing. He's
nice,
phenomenal putter, and that obviously helped the week.
Well, they say the quickest way to get sacked on tour is to start reading putts.
Yeah, true.
He would ask me for maybe a half dozen a day. If
confirmation.
That. Yeah, I would kind of just take a quick look at him, whether he asked or not, and then just confirmation.
I once offered my services to Marco Mira, who had won at Pebble 5 times. Mm-hmm. I think no one's won more than that. It could 5 times is a lot.
Good quiz, yeah.
And I said, he misread putts on 1, 2, 3, and I said to him, "Hey, listen, you want a hand with it?" You go, "No, I got it. I got it." I says, "Okay, keep making bogey."
Yeah, have fun.
So
that relationship didn't last long, did it?
I wasn't. He was our pro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I wasn't working for him. Oh no.
But you look like you need a hand there, buddy. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Tom Watson did it as well. He tried.
He's a terrible putter.
I said, "Tom,
yeah,
I got this, mate. We're good. We're good. You're okay." So, did you find the books have too much information?
No.
You're all right with that?
The numbers confuse Gordon sometimes. There's a lot of
I don't know what it
numbers.
is. I'm very numbers oriented, but I just always used to. There was so much information in the book. It just
There's a lot with all the elevation changes from edge.
They're
back,
so
middle.
good nowadays.
They
like
are.
You open up the page and it has a picture of what you're looking at off the tee, and it has numbers to carry and through lines, and it has layup numbers. If you get offline, it'll show from one dot to another. It's pretty easy.
Having the lasers didn't improve the pace of play, I'm guessing.
I think we were running at like right around 440-ish, I would say, 430.
The first 2 days or all 4 days?
Much all 4 days.
You go 3s to 2s at the weekend or 3s?
3s to 2s. Yeah, maybe the Saturday was raining. Yeah, it was probably 440-ish.
It had did it fly by for you, though? Is it kind of a whirlwind on
the
weekend?
Yeah, I was not concerned about pace of play.
Yeah. Last of your concerns.
Where did you stay?
We had a house, Block had rented a house up on, it was like 15 minutes from the golf course, right on a lake. It was phenomenal.
And he had it already booked through Sunday just in case, or?
That I can't confirm. I think so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you stayed with him? Interesting.
I did, yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. We had his family, his wife came in, his GM from his golf course, his assistant pro, another buddy. There was like 7 of us staying in the house, and it was
wow.
It was a good time for everyone. I think that honestly helped instead of going and sitting in a hotel room and dabbling over what could happen or like.
Did you guys have a routine every night? Would you like have a few beers? Or
yeah. It's leave the course, find somewhere to have dinner, have a few beers, maybe a glass of wine after, at the house.
How heavy was his bag?
The rainy days are the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are we talking 50 to 60 pounds?
Well, more than that.
Oh.
Well, the rainy days, you got 2 sets of rain gear, 4 extra towels, the umbrella, the head cut, the...
Why, please, would somebody have 2 sets of rain gear?
Well, mine and his.
Oh, yours and his, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have had him carry it himself.
Grab the bag, bro. Put it in the bag and carry it.
You use double strap?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you threw that one
out. So it helped. It wasn't much more than carrying 2 bags of Pebble.
Yeah, true.
And as well as he was playing, it had to feel somewhat light.
It's also for one guy. You don't have a lefty and a righty hitting slices.
Yeah,
the opposite roughs.
He's mostly down. Yeah, he's mostly down the middle. Yeah.
How many golf balls did he have?
I think he had like 2 sleeves a day or something like that.
Aye, that's more like it.
Yeah.
None of the 16 balls.
But like you finish Sunday. Now it's a huge. In the golf scene, a huge national story. Like next to maybe Brooks Koepka actually winning as the first live golfer to win, an active live golfer win a major. That is the biggest story in golf right now, Michael Block. And then the pairing comes out. You're playing with Rory McIlroy on Sunday in a major in the top. What were you going into Sunday? Like you're still like
T8.
You're inside the top 10 on Sunday of a major playing with Rory McIlroy with a club pro. That is one of the greatest stories, in my opinion, in golf in the last 5 years. Yeah,
it was actually interesting. We shot 71 the final round in fell spots, which doesn't happen not very often in a major. Mm-hmm. There were several guys who went out early and shot 5-6 under or whatever. But Sunday.
What is that emotion when you hear that pairing? Like what happened? What does John Jackson think or do when you were like, oh my God,
I'm just looking forward to watch it.
Yeah,
I get to stand 3 feet from him all day.
Yeah,
he just hits it differently to everyone else, doesn't he?
Oh, the audio, and he hits every club. That we were talking to one of the tech club guys, he hits every club 130-foot apex. So, I mean, he's hitting 4-irons that are flying our 3-woods by 40 yards, and it's 130 feet in the air. The first hole, he hit that 3-wood he hit off the first hole was, I mean, flew like 320.
Did you hear his interview, though, this past week?
No.
He went onto YouTube and watched his highlights from when he won at Hoylake in 2014, nearly 10 years ago. And he was shocked at how many irons he was hitting and hybrids and stuff. He said, I don't need to hit the driver all the time. Yeah. So
a lot of truth to that.
You might see that in this next 6 months, him changing tactics.
Well, he's doing all right this weekend. I mean,
well,
he's going to be finished with 54 holes pretty soon. So we'll see how he does come Sunday.
I think what you said though about your man can only hit it so far anyway. It's almost liberating. Takes a lot of things out the play.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Especially like I said, the redesign. They'd push fairway bunkers back, anticipating having majors there 15, 20 years from now. Mm-hmm. When guys are flying it, who knows how far. Mm-hmm. So he's still playing a bit of the modern game, or I mean,
old school
game, I guess, and can't get to a lot of those bunkers. Mm-hmm. And Rory's flying them with 3-woods.
Yeah, he did a different. If anyone ever is interested, check out McIlroy 18th hole. Swiss Open. It's the one in Cran-sur-Mer, the 10,000 feet up, and he hits an iron. Mm-hmm. I think he actually lost the playoff. He finished second, but it sounds like a fighter jet. It goes,
yeah.
It's just different level.
That had to be just awesome to watch.
Oh, the audio, like I said, it was just, yeah.
And huge crowd.
Yeah, but so the very first tee on Sunday, they announced Rory. Everyone's yay! They're all cheering. They announced Michael Block.
Yes,
tenfold. I'm not even. It's the closest thing to a Tiger roar I'll ever experience. I mean, it was so loud. Then we're walking up the second fairway, and they're chanting "Blocky, Blocky," going from one side of the fairway to the other.
That's awesome. You got to get goosebumps kind of when you hear it. I mean,
that's that second fairway. They're chanting. And he reaches over and pinches me on the back of the arm.
Yeah.
And he goes, pinch me. And I pinch the back of his arm. He goes, shit, this is real, isn't it?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It was surreal. Absolutely surreal.
The hole in one, what hole was that?
15.
The shot heard around the world. You got to walk us through that because that has to be the highlight of his golfing career.
Please tell me that he wanted to hit a wedge and you gave him like an 8 or something.
Yeah, did you argue about the number?
First of all, we step onto the tee, and this was the case in every hole we walked onto. We step onto the tee, and the crowd just goes wild. And we're standing there. It was into the wind off the left, and we were between 6 and 7 iron. He's really good at flighting little soft cuts, and that's kind of what we were leaning towards. But it was a perfect 7 iron if the wind died down a little bit. So Rory hits, he flares it up right, misses the green. And the wind dies. And we're both like, this is perfect. If the wind's like this right now, it's 7 iron. So he goes and almost quick pegs it and hits it. And obviously it was a perfect 7 iron. Flew right in the hole. But as soon as it, when you're hitting to a green, you expect to see it bounce. So my first thought is, oh my God, short in the bunker. He's going to be fired up. And it was the same eruption of the crowd. So I'll forever be the guy on TV who's looking through a rangefinder.
I love that look of you. Yes,
I mean, I thought it was either in the bunker, and then Rory, who was 30 yards ahead of us, turns around, comes back up the hill, high fives, hugs, all that, and we're like, it really went in, didn't it?
Wow. I was on the 17th hole at the big course, and I was paying attention every hole. I was trying to look at his score and how he was doing, and he was. What did that get him to? It got him to.
We were 2 over on the day. And it got him back to even par, so we were even par for the tournament.
Yeah, so I saw that they posted him back to even par, and I saw that they didn't post a number yet, but I saw he played the par 3. I'm looking at my players. I'm like, dude, Block just made a hole in one or something. He just moved to even par, and then they posted the number, and I went wild, and I saw that video, and it has you looking on the rangefinder. It was classic.
Yeah. Zabbo was very excited.
Very excited.
He was texting me. He was telling my wife on the course.
That was.
I mean, it'll be one of the most iconic hole-in-ones in major championship history.
I think it was the best hole-in-one I've ever seen. The way the angle it came in and just...
I mean...
You couldn't stage that better. To play with Rory McIlroy on Sunday, have a hole-in-one on one of your last holes, to get him, what did you finish, 15th or 16th?
Well, that got us into maybe T12 at the time.
Yeah, but you finished like 15th.
Bogeyed 16 and then got up and down from 115 on 17 and then the up and down on 18.
Clutch.
Was wild.
Are you thinking money the whole time?
Not at all.
No?
Really?
No. Oh, wow.
Wow.
No. You haven't been a caddy for long
I know.
enough.
I would have been kind of... All right, this could mean a lot here, Blocky.
I mean, like I said, it was the experience alone. It was fun. I didn't realize either that it was top 15 to get into next year's. The only one I did know about was T4 got into the Masters.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And so once that was kind of out of the picture, I'm like, well, we're just going to see where we finish, whatever.
Yeah. Zabbo and I know this for a fact, I haven't spoken to him ever about it, but when you caddied for Streelman...
why do we got to bring up old shit?
He cost Kevin Streelman a fortune on the 16th.
Bad number, bro.
But when I was caddying for Tim O'Neill last year, I'm just watching the scoreboard. I know my numbers. I'm working out my percentage every hole. You know, we just know it.
Well, I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say Saturday night. I looked at I kind of did the quick math of what last year's payout was, and I was like, all right, well, this could be a good day.
I might get a new car.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you saw there was the viral post after where they had you at one of the receptions or something, and you were showing
a members ceremony.
Yeah, and you were showing Block was that true? Were you showing Block the payout and what you were going to get paid?
Yeah, so we didn't even know what the final payout was until that ceremony. They brought Block up, and I think it was one of the heads of the PGA of America looks at his wife and goes, Val, write this number down. 288,333. I was like, what? He goes, that's how much money Michael Block made.
Wow.
So as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, there it is. That's the number. So he sat back down and I showed him, and he congratulated me on making money. Like he was super happy to make that money for me too. Like walking off the 18th green. Yeah.
Oh, that's tremendous. Have you ever been to his club down south?
No. Arroyo Trabuco, I've not.
Okay.
Orange County.
So what did you do on Sunday night to celebrate?
Well, we actually didn't leave the golf course till like 9:30 because of all the press conferences, and he went on live at the PGA, and there was a lot going on. And then the one of the bars wanted to stay open and have him there, and we kind of just as his team, we're just like, yeah, let's just order pizzas and go back to the house. I think they're closing soon. Everything around here closes at 10 o'clock. I think they were going to stay open as long as we possibly wanted.
For sure.
So we just ordered pizzas, and there was like 10 of us, 12 of us at the house.
Just partied down.
Oh, yeah. Having some good times. There's a few viral videos from that evening. For sure. It was a great time.
Wow. And then what happens?
That after Sunday, he got an invite into Colonial,
which they also captured on television. As the director called him, right? That was an amazing video.
Yeah, they had that little room set up for us to kind of just decompress and get away for a second. And then the director calls in and was like, you're getting into Colonial. And so we ended up flying down there and just going right back at it. And it was a tough week, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be kind of golf hungover after such a high like that, and there's a lot of pressure probably put on him to
I knew
perform.
He was gassed. He also, that week at Colonial, he had the second most media requests all time in PGA Tour history.
Wow.
It goes Tiger Woods and Michael Block. And he said no to none of them. Wow. And so he mentally and physically just drained, for sure.
So Big Tony, we're out on the 6th fairway one day, and I said, it's incredible. I go home and I'm exhausted. I'm like, I'm only out here, he says, talking. He says, the tongue's the strongest muscle in the body, I believe. And if you're a talker, which I I am.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. So I'd said to Zabbo, I says, no chance he makes the cut in this.
No.
Absolutely no chance.
No.
You can't go from teaching lessons, yeah? He gives lessons.
Yeah.
To then going through that whole emotional roller coaster. And like you just told me earlier on, he's got 4 more invites, correct?
Yeah, I believe he gets. They changed the rule actually so that it goes from PGA professionals could only get 4 going into the rule or going into the year. Now they changed the rule where they can get 8 sponsors invites.
The Michael Block rule.
So we get 4 more sponsors invites. That we'll see where he takes them or who eventually invites him. But yeah.
So you fully expect to have 8 tournaments total then? Or 9?
But you got.
The majors don't count either.
Oh wow!
So,
but you got some on the books, right? Didn't you say you had one? On
got
the books?
Invited to the Dunhill Links.
The Dunhill.
Oh, the Dunhill.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Might turn that into a 2-week golf trip.
Absolutely,
for sure.
yeah.
Possibly there's a new event it goes to the end of the year too, not just the PGA Tour season.
Right.
So maybe there's a new event in Cabo. I think he's interested in playing.
Of course.
The Australian PGA invited him.
Nice.
I don't know if that one works into the schedule, but that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'll go whenever he calls me. We'll go wherever.
And I'm sure you got a lot of corporate invites too to certain things, right? He's probably gonna make some money on that side of the golf business.
Yeah. We actually there's an event in Ohio we're going to play at the end of August.
Nice.
We're nice and cold in Ohio at the end of August.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And also, actually, you told me so somebody offered him for that 7-iron that he made the hole-in-one with. Somebody offered him $50,000, right?
So it started at 30.
Okay.
Some private collector in Texas, and then he came back with the response, "Give me 50, and I'll hand deliver it."
Nice.
And then the PGA of America found out about it.
Oh, let me guess.
No. I think.
Oh no, they all over it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they offered him a pretty penny as well, and it's going to go into the museum at their new facility in Frisco.
Wow.
So that his kids can view it, and it's not going to go to some private collector and end up God knows where.
Yeah,
in a
that's
couple
great.
years.
I'd have just given him one from the rental set and held on to the
Yeah, well, he's got the
myself.
exact
Here's the
same
one,
set
yeah.
in the garage. I'm like,
Here's
just
the
give
one.
him the other 7.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll
They're not
never
gonna
know.
Exactly.
You get anything in the major for getting a hole in one?
I don't believe so.
Because
They gave him like the flag, but no, not like.
Because some places you get a car.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a nice ball marker for both mine.
Oh,
With a whole number on it.
you believe this?
It's true.
42 yards.
48.
48.
That's pathetic. You'd be shocked though, Zabbo. There's half and half. Half the people think that's legit, and
Half of the people are right.
and the real golfers among us think it's garbage. You know?
Easy.
He plays the place every day, 7 days a week.
Six.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
It's not really. Wait, what would you say constitutes a hole in one that you would then say it's legit?
I mean, honestly, playing even professional events, I was almost timid to aim at holes. Once it became a thing, like my brother has 4. He loves to tell me about them. The last thing I wanted was to hit I would never hit another shot on a par 3, like 2 balls. A standard 18-hole round, and like at least for my first one, that's what I'd like it to be.
And even better if you have a scorecard in your hand.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a scoring round as opposed to like a bounce match with your mates.
Right.
You know, the April medal, the monthly medal.
Yeah.
That's surprising because you've played a lot of golf. You played a lot of good golf. You're in the Hall of Fame for your college CSUMB. You won a national championship with them. You've never had a hole in one.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
Nice way to rub it in. I tell you what, he's very
I'm
proud of
surprised.
himself, isn't he?
I'm
It's
surprised.
48 yards.
Yeah.
Well, he said he's had a couple at the previous hay, so.
Yeah, I did.
And Colonial, like now, obviously, you're back carrying for Johnny Hack.
Yeah.
Well, not really though. Have you since you've been back? I've worked with you, but have you done any job off the bench for people that you don't know?
No, I have not.
Yeah. Is that done now? You think?
I who knows?
For
And does everyone know that you were there and did it?
I have turned down. There were several offers when I was in Canada. I get a message from the office saying, "Hey, you've been requested by so and so at
I
7."
saw you on TV.
But those aren't the ones
Don't take
that no.
Don't take
No,
the request.
if people are worth their salt, they'll find your number
Exactly.
and get a way to contact. Because via Loopers, that movie that I starred in, and I got a couple from the Rogue. And
No.
Turn them down.
I don't plan on that.
Body swerve that. Okay, so how many loops have you done back at the resort since this?
Well, I came home actually the week I had off between Colonial and Canada. I did a 4-day job.
Yep.
And a Q&A for them at their award ceremony.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which was a good
Did you
time.
know them before they
Yeah,
came
it's
up?
Perry Parker's group.
Oh, yeah. We're Southern Cal.
Yeah,
mostly
it's all SoCal
guys.
Anyway,
Anyway,
they're a lot of good friends with Block, so
Yeah.
they had already contacted Block to come up and do it, and he couldn't do it. And he's like, "Why don't you do it and work for these guys?" So I did that. That was fun. Went on the road, and then I've worked 3 times since then.
And what are the players that you're working for? Do they all ask the same questions? Are you kind of?
I don't think the guys I had yesterday had any idea. I did a 4 caddy at Spanish Bay. They never asked one thing about it. It's fine.
I hear you.
Yeah, the single today knew, and so I answered questions, but I've answered them quite a few times at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll be
sure.
going over old rope.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your next tournament, you think?
I have no idea.
So he hasn't decided on his.
No, it's just really, he's obviously really busy now as well. So it depends on which invites he gets and then bounce those against which, where he's got gaps in his schedule.
But you got to be his guy, right? Going forward, he had his son last year, but you're going to be, he's in the PGA Championship next year. You're his guy going forward.
Yeah, he's from the way it sounds, he's made it pretty clear that I'd be going with him to these places. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll go anywhere in the world he wants to go. Take the
guy can play.
The block party to wherever it's got to go.
Block party, I like that. That's actually
does
tremendous.
he have any aspiration? The guy's nearing 50. Does he have aspirations to play on the Champions Tour?
Yeah, Champions Tour, he said he'll at least do Q School.
Yeah.
It's some of the younger kids, too, on tour, like at Colonial, are asking if he's fighting to get his card. He's like, I got zero desire to be out here with you guys.
Yeah.
He's got
Smart
a great
man.
job, great family, lives in Southern California. The last thing he wants to do is travel around the country on the PGA Tour.
I think you have the perfect scenario from my point of view of where you go, okay, if I could get 6 for the next 2-3 years, or I could get 6-8 weeks away, because you got to make cuts. There's no point in going if you're missing cuts.
Right.
Missing cut. I've mentioned this before. My pal Toe carried for a guy, a Scottish pro, and they missed 29 in a row.
Woo!
Jesus.
You know what I mean? That's
brutal.
And he'd won the BMW Championship at Wentworth, the flagship one. It's like the players in Europe. And then he got into everything. He had his card for 5 years. That probably gets you. But they missed 29 in a row. That's a long, you're not making any money, and
Yeah, it gets expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think if you could make some cuts, I wouldn't want to work full time on tour.
Really? Yeah.
No.
You got to have the right bag for it.
For what we do, easy street.
It is.
Just drive out there. Most of what we do,
You
we love it.
need to have a player that made a ton of money to make it worth your while.
It's just an incredible grind.
Even like a guy that's retaining his card, guy that making $3, $4, $5 million, it's probably not worth it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then I think you have to do a tax return in every state that you make money.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That starts getting pricey.
Oh yeah, are you gonna have to do?
I'm definitely going to have to find someone to help me
Jeez.
out this year.
Was it New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But as a personal check.
It's just a gift, bro.
It
It's
was a
just a
gift.
gift.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's some truth to that. If he cuts you a check and he doesn't like 1099, you could take that as a personal gift up to you. I'd look into that because that's
meet
been the
someone.
deal before. I've seen that. That's happened with me before. And then when I caddied for Streelman, actually, he's like, "Hey man, I know I've given you some money before, but he's like, this year my wife has to put you on the payroll, so you're gonna get a W-2." I was like, "Oh, okay, bro. So
Yeah.
So if you don't get like a form in the mail,
Right.
don't worry about it too much.
One-time personal check.
Exactly.
Has he changed sponsors at all? Has he switch clubs? Have offers come in?
No, TaylorMade. He's still with TaylorMade.
You got to add some sponsors though. I'd start decorating my shirt.
He's got Raising Cane's on one sleeve.
What's Raising Cane's?
It's like a chicken fast food spot. Never had it before in his life.
Oh, that's brilliant!
Loves it.
That's brilliant.
Gave him, I don't even know what the numbers were, but it was a lot for a year. And then Core Financial, who sponsored the PGA Championship on the other sleeve, and then he just got Cisco Systems on the chest.
Wow.
Play golf with their CEO.
He's set for life
Oh,
now.
he's
doing
done.
well.
Yeah.
You got to ride that train though. You have to.
Absolutely.
That's what you do when you have a story like that.
Has he done any lessons?
I don't think so.
No?
I think he did in the week off. He went back and did payroll and some inventory.
I'd love that story if he was actually back in the range.
Well, no, the problem is he's got so many requests now. Yeah. He's going to, I think, maybe do a few clinics here and there.
That's the way to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Get your money that way.
Yeah.
Did you get any offers at the weekend to wear a hat from a company or something?
Not monetary offers, but I got several people just trying to send me stuff to wear and stuff like that.
Of course.
Nah, the way you guarantee a caddy wearing a hat, throw some cheddar in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greece. We love Greece.
That's on them.
So
that ball.
What about what are your aspirations after a week like that? Like after being out there, seeing the kind of money you could make, do you have aspirations to actually caddy on the PGA Tour where other guys may be interested in your services after seeing what you've done with Block?
I can't say I would never do it, but like you just said, we have it pretty good here.
Got to get the right player. Yeah.
Yeah. If I got a certain phone call, it'd be hard for me to say no, at least for a year. For a year, see what it's like. If the guy gets hot and you have a good
win a
year,
tournament or two, that's a lot of money.
Even if he has a good year and I don't feel like doing it anymore,
yeah,
it's a year, whatever.
Exactly.
So I can't say no, but that I'd never do it. But yeah, it's not on the forefront of my mind at the moment.
Now, Zabbo thinks there's going to be a 30 for 30 made about this.
100%.
I don't.
100%.
I don't.
John Jackson will be in a 30 for 30 in the near future. Do you?
Yeah, it's very possible.
There you go, G.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to be in the record of saying I don't think it'll happen.
It will happen
because things will calm down. However, let's say there's a movie made.
Yeah.
Who's going to play you?
Oh, there's some funny articles about that. There's already articles about one of them was Adam Sandler playing Block and Chris Pratt playing me.
Oh, there you go.
And then it was
That works in your favor.
Tom Hanks playing. Yeah, thanks, Zabbo. Tom Hanks playing Jim Nance. There was all kinds of crazy.
Did you meet Jim Nance?
No, I have met him before. Not there.
But not out there.
No.
Who would play you, Zabbo?
Carrot Top.
Yeah, so I guess you didn't have any moments. Both Zabbo, he had the one with Streelman, I had the one with the guy Tim O'Neill last year at the seniors. You didn't really have any moments where he just started hemorrhaging.
Collapsing. He never really collapsed.
He was kind of up, down, up, down, up.
He always bounced back. He always bounced back.
Our bounce back stats were ridiculous.
Yes.
Bounce back ability, it's called.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that.
Bounce back ability.
Was phenomenal. So no, I'd say the shank. Well, it was funny too, and he interacted with the crowd so much. I think is what made him resonate with a lot of just the normal people.
Yeah.
And so the day after the shank, we get to that hole.
Oh,
and it's playing longer and harder. It's cold, rainy. He hits this shot, comes out of the middle of the face, middle of the green, and there's some guy, the tee box is pretty crowded there. Some guy in the crowd just says, that was a lot better than yesterday or something. And Block turns around to the guy and he goes, "You don't think I was thinking about that, standing over the shot?" And the whole crowd just started laughing. And
that's awesome.
So there was a lot of stuff like that, which I think is why his story resonates and why there will be a 30 for 30.
Okay.
Well, there will be. I agree, John Jackson. I agree.
You're going to change my mind, but I hope it happens. And I hope you end up on a great show.
It is a great show. It's going to make a great 30 for 30. That whole week was just it's tough to put into words how epic that week was. Really, I mean, we're here talking about it now, but to go down like it did, you get paired with Justin Rose on Saturday, Rory McIlroy on Sunday. I mean, it's insane.
Did we Rory signed your bib? Is that right?
Yeah, I actually it was one of the guys interviewing me after the final round. The guy, they collect your bibs, and this guy comes over. I'm in the middle of the interview, and he's like, I need your bib. I'm like, okay, hold on a second, dude. And one of the guys interviewing me used to caddy on tour. Now he's a writer for whoever. And he's like, no, you keep that bib. And he goes, what you should do is when Rory comes out of that press room, have him sign it and then have Block sign it. Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't even think of that, and I'm glad he said it because
that was probably Michael Collins, short board.
No, it wasn't. It was some I don't know who he was, but yeah, that's that'll be framed one day. Absolutely. For sure.
That's you still have that, obviously.
Oh yeah.
What did the wee guy that wanted the bib back say?
He just waited for he turned around and walked away. And
waited
for the next.
See you later, buddy.
Well, why do they want them back?
It's crazy. It's crazy. You're never nobody's gonna use it again.
Nonsense.
It was the final round. I mean,
I'm keeping my bib. Get out of here.
Relax.
What was the tournament, Zabbo, we did where they took the bibs and then they gave you them back?
Yeah.
But they didn't wash them.
Yeah.
I caught
added cigarette butts too.
Yeah,
oh man, yeah.
I got one, and the BO smell from it was absolutely horrific. I think it was from the year before, and I dumped it. I was like, I'm not wearing that. I am not wearing a bib. I cannot be walking around and people think that's me.
Yep.
Because 10 yards away, you could smell this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Putrid, horrendous.
Yeah.
Are you back for long just now, or you don't really know?
It's all up in the air. I'm going to my family reunion at the next Thursday for 4 or 5 days to relax, decompress, do nothing. But work-wise, it's one day at a time at the moment.
Oh, what about your own golf? You playing any?
No, not at all.
No.
What are you talking about? I saw you 2 days ago when I was finishing, and you were making the turn at the Wii course.
Oh, I did have a birthday round at Spyglass with a buddy whose birthday is a few days before mine.
Yeah. So you're playing a little bit.
A little bit, but I'm a member at Pasadena now, and I've been there once in almost 2 months.
Seriously? Since you joined?
No, I joined the first of the year.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I haven't got to use it.
But what we haven't asked him too is, because this happened, I'm sure this happened to you like crazy. Did your phone blow up every day after every round? Were people wanting to engage you and talk to you after every round?
Yeah.
Did that get to be a nuisance? Like you couldn't respond to all those texts?
Oh no, there's no chance. After every round, there was a few. After the final round, there was I can't even remember the numbers. Over 300.
Yeah.
Text messages, and
that's
then
crazy.
It was
everybody has your phone number.
Oh, there was people whose numbers I don't even have sending me messages. Then there was random DMs on Instagram. That was a whole nother several hundred that I never even made it through. And then you respond to one, and that starts a whole conversation. So you get down to 224, and then it's back to 286. And
I sent you a text. Still waiting for a reply.
Did you? That sounds right.
What did Block Party's Instagram or whatever he's on? Did he get this huge?
Oh, that
increase?
was actually a joke at the a running joke throughout the week. He had 4,000 followers or whatever going into the week, and then he kind of started to play well. He's like, maybe I might crack 10,000 this week.
Yeah.
I think when we got to the house in Colonial, he was up to 150,000.
Crazy.
Outstanding.
From 4,000. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get him on the podcast one day.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Does he ever come up here?
TaylorMade National Champion. Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
That's November, isn't it?
It is.
I think
Maybe
so.
if he's interested, no pressure, but get him on.
I'll buy him a pizza.
Oh, there you go.
I'll buy him a beer.
Over at Melville's. Yeah. That's fantastic. Zabbo, do you think we've covered everything?
I think we have. I mean, we could sit here all day and recap the week. What an amazing week. I'm very proud of you, John. That was amazing. It was so much fun to watch.
It's cool seeing someone you know on the TV.
It really is. Yeah. It really is so cool.
Yeah. It's I can't believe you weren't working out your percentages, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that, really. I'm always thinking numbers. When I was on that 16th green walking away, I was like,
Oh man.
Oh man.
So you won't know this, but last year at the seniors, I'm in the 14th fairway on the Sunday. Tim hasn't looking at a scoreboard, nothing, and he's about 260 out, par 5. He says, "What should I do?" I says, "Go for it."
Yeah, I was standing there.
He was standing right there.
Gordon talked him into going for it when he should have laid up.
And,
Cost him a top 10.
And I thought, well, I knew he was 3 strokes back. No, I wasn't even thinking top 10 gets him in next week, which was a failing of knowledge on my on my part. I'm thinking we can win this because nobody was coming out shooting 65 or whatever.
Right.
And he ended up making bogey there. And then he rushed off of 15. He makes bogey there. And he leaves a birdie putt short on 16 after I told him it's uphill, but it looks downhill. Trust it. And then we proceed to bogey 17 and 18.
So you killed all his momentum.
I killed it. But I was just going, oh, there's another couple of grand. Oh, God. There's another 2,500. And it was like, you're in absolute no man's land. And he obviously had the one where, how much did he lose in that hole? Two shots is what?
At least 400. Well, if you
250,000?
Yeah, but the position he was in, he went from $700,000-$800,000 check to $160,000 check.
Unbelievable.
It's a lot of dough.
It's heartbreaking actually.
A lot of dough. And from 90 yards out too in the fairway. It's just yeah.
I think my point about when your boy shanked it on the Friday is that from standing there and watching a ball go out of play and then bounce back in,
incredible.
The whatever he made, 4, 5, whatever, there's still that appreciation. Okay, I'm still in it.
Yeah.
And which was crazy because you think the club pro just did this. He just shanked it. The club pro's done. He's not going to recoup. He's going to make a bunch of bogeys. And look what he did. I mean,
it's golf. If you hit a green in regulation and you two-putt par, if you then miss the green and get up and down, the mental aspect of getting up and down is so much better.
Sure.
Because you're thinking the worst.
100%.
It's crazy how that kind of happens.
Yeah.
So, fantastic. That brings us up to an hour. We're trying to get them as close to an hour as possible.
Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything.
So, Johnny, many thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely.
And we'll maybe see what later in the year if we can get both of you on. That would be interesting. That would be fun.
Let's do it.
We could have a bit of fun with that. So, good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having me, guys.
I hope you don't big league all the hacks that we work for.
No.
That will happen, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you have any questions, feedback, you can email us podcast@glorifieddonkey.com. Check out all of the social media. Just search the name Glorified Donkey. Zabbo, many thanks for your time as always.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Before the next episode, have you had another trip to Disneyland planned? Or
no Disneyland trips, no.
No? Okay. Are you still smoking menthols?
Every day.
2 packs a day.
Get out of here.
Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Folks, this is episode 114, I think it is.
I think you're right.
If you're new to the podcast, there's 113 previous episodes. Most of it is evergreen content, so you'll enjoy it. And leave us a review. Rate it. Leave us a review. Send us a message. We're always it's always about the listeners. We'll be back next time, probably with Man Bun again. We'll get back to Caddie stories. So
perfect.
Check that out in a couple of weeks. Until the next time, though, thanks for listening. Enjoy your golf, but more importantly, keep it humble.